This is just about the perfect spot, I think. Welcome back everybody, and thank you for joining me on another vlog. Just behind me there's a little bit of a brook running under this bridge here, and in a moment I'm going to walk across this bridge and up this path here. And what I'm looking for today is signs of the changing colours of the leaves on the woodland floor itself. So I'm heading this way, see if I can find a little bit of woodland and find some very colourful leaves on the floor. Let's go for it. Now on the way here I haven't yet found anything on the woodland floor yet which has really inspired me. There's a lot of leaves and a lot of general woodland debris on the ground, but there isn't really anything that I've looked at and thought that's interesting, I could take a photo of that. However, I have seen a couple of images on the trees which I think would be quite interesting. So I'm going to go back and have a look at those and see if I can capture anything instead of looking at the woodland floor, or as well as looking at the woodland floor. So it looks like I may have found my first shot just next to this tree here on the floor, a little way in front of the tree. Just down here somewhere I've got just a bunch of about 3 or 4 leaves just on the end of a twig that have obviously fallen off somewhere, and they're very green but with a lot of yellow running through them as well. They look lovely, and there's quite a few of them all dotted around in this area, but just in this particular spot they look perfect because they're really standing out against the floor as well, the woodland floor. So I'll show you the composition now, and then I'm going to set up and take the photo. So this is my composition here. As you can see, it's these leaves just down here that I want to photograph, and they are perfect against the colour of that green, and the yellow going through those leaves is perfect in contrast to everything else around it. You can see, of course, just here the root of the tree that I was talking about earlier that leads to the tree just there. So as you run along the root of the tree, it comes out and points you right to these leaves here. It wasn't so much the tree root that I was looking at, I wasn't interested in that, it was the leaves themselves that I noticed. So I'm going to have to try and set up a composition here which takes in just those leaves and pretty much the floor space around them like that. So I'm going to have to set that up and look at that. It may well be a 70 to 300mm lens that I have to use to shoot this, but I'm going to set it up anyway and try this one out. Even with the 70 to 300mm lens on that on the front of the camera for that shot, I still couldn't get any focus on the leaves, unfortunately. So what I had to do was take out the 50mm f1.8 lens instead. Now it does mean that I was able to focus in the end, but I had quite a bit of distance between me and the subject, and unfortunately that means I'm going to have to crop into the image quite a bit. Ordinarily I wouldn't want to do that, but in this case I don't think it'll matter too much because that 50mm lens is so incredibly sharp that you won't even notice there's an issue with it. But I seem to have got myself lost on a woodland path that I've never been on before, and by the looks of things I've managed to find my way now almost towards another path that I have been on before, so I might even be able to find my own way out of here. But on the way here I also spotted a couple of interesting compositions with trees, leaves that are still on the trees. So on the way back I'm going to see if I can capture a couple of those. They might be quite interesting as well. But at this very moment in time the woodland floor in front of me looks absolutely amazing. Let me show you. Just as I turn around, see all these golden orange leaves all over the floor. Loads of them. and I think there might be a shot just here, just kind of capturing all of these golden leaves. Looks like I've just about found my way out. I don't know where I am now. Those last couple of shots that I've just shown you, I just love them. The second one is probably the best one I've taken so far today. I'm really proud of it. There was just one leaf that was just kind of yellowy golden colour, and it was kind of really brightly shining through amongst those red orange coloured leaves that were all around it, and I just thought it was perfect for what I'm trying to achieve today. There were two other sort of reddish brown leaves on top of it, actually sitting on top of it, but they weren't covering it enough that I wouldn't be able to see the yellow leaf that I wanted to photograph. So what I actually did was take a photograph with the two golden brown, reddish brown leaves on the top of it, but then I also went back and took another shot where I actually removed those reddish brown leaves from the top of the yellow one. At first I thought I quite liked the one with the leaves on top of it, but then after looking at the image I thought, well, why don't I go back and get the other one without the leaves on it, just in case I decide later that I prefer that one. And now I've looked at it, I think I do prefer the second image. So I hope you like those. I'm going to move on and see if I can find something else now. There's a couple of trees on this path just behind me, a little way back here, that I've told myself a couple of times I wanted to photograph. Now, although this isn't a case of looking at the woodland floor and looking at the leaves that are on the floor, this is a composition that I really wanted to capture a couple of times before now, and I've not been back to do it. So now that I'm here, I'm going to do this as well. So I hope you like these two images. In the first of those two tree images, there was just one tree that I was concentrating on, but I wanted to use the bench a little further up the path behind the tree as kind of make weight in the image. That was there to basically give the image itself a little bit of balance, a little bit of structure, because you had the tree on the left hand side of the image, you had the path kind of running up the right hand side of the tree heading towards that bench, and the bench itself anchored it very well. But in the second image I moved slightly further down the path myself and had two trees in the image, and with the two trees in the image, the trees themselves provided the balance. The first tree was closest to the lens of the camera, and the second tree being further away, with that path still running up the side of them, but I didn't need the bench in the image. When I edit the image afterwards, what I'm actually going to do is try and take the bench out of the second image, because I don't think that works very well. You can just about see it in the image, and I don't really like it in the image in the second one. So I'm going to clone that out, and that'll be those two images. I hope you like them. Now I'm going to head off and see if I can find these last couple of compositions I was looking at on the way here. They are very interesting, so I hope I can capture them. If the light's right, they'll be perfect. I'll see you over there. Just along this road here, as I walk along, there's a car park on the one side of the road, and I wanted to stop here and explain to you the image I'm about to take, because the composition is right next to that car park, and I don't want to be filming right next to a car park where there's people pulling up in the cars to go and walk the dogs, just in case anybody feels a little bit awkward and wants to try and confront me about filming in a public place like this. There shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't have thought, but rather than causing a problem, I thought I may as well stop here and let you know what's going on anyway. There's a tree just on the one side of that car park, just off the path, And as I walked past earlier, I noticed that some of the leaves on it have got various different colours going through them. You've got reds, yellows, browns, greens, even a few oranges as well. And it just looked amazing with the light falling on it perfectly. But I found that even on kind of one very small twig of a branch, there was often several different colours of leaves on the trees. So I'm going to pop back there and get a photo of that, and then after that one I think there may be just one more shot before the end of the vlog. So let's go and have a look at this one. There's a tree just here behind me, this one here, which I've never seen with quite so much foliage on it before. It's another one that I've walked past many times and never stopped to take a photo of it, but there's also quite a bit of colour in the leaves, as you notice just around the edge of the tips of the tree branches. There's some oranges instead of greens there. So I'm going to stop here and see if I can get a decent composition of this. It seems to work quite well, but I don't know until I get the image back onto the computer at home, so I'll capture this one and then I'll talk to you again. That's that then, folks. That's the last shot of the day. Hope you like that one. Look at the colour of the sky behind me as well. Beautiful blue sky with some very high cloud. Just nuisance cloud really, nothing special. But yeah, it's a lovely day in October, but I just wanted to get out and see the different colours of the leaves on the trees and also on the floor, the woodland floor. It was quite an interesting one. I didn't expect to get quite as many images as I did, particularly from that sycamore tree. Not that last one, the one before. There were several different compositions there that I looked at, so I'm not entirely sure which of those I'm going to be showing you, but I hope you like the images anyway. And if you have enjoyed this vlog, then please remember to like and subscribe and share and comment, and I will see you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.